So here we are with another black screen video. How long ago was the last one? Probably like 6 months, half a year. I don't like to make videos like this because I'm just not super knowledgeable on hot button topics, and I feel like I don't want to sound preachy. I already did the AI video, I already did the culture war video. I don't really need to just keep restating my views on stuff. Like, I've said my piece, I can be done with it. But this is an important issue, and important things need to be addressed and talked about. So, you've probably already heard about some new, like, law of the Child Protection Act or whatever it was to basically just censor the entire internet. Or maybe it's just YouTube, I don't really know. Again, I'm not super knowledgeable on these kind of things, but yeah, it's a big law to censor the internet. And it's bad. It's not a very good thing. And people are real against it. And I'm not saying that they can't be upset about it or that it's not a bad thing, but I feel like the this new act is not the problem, it's a symptom. This is only just a fraction of the wider problem that's really plaguing us right now. So going back a bit, remember the act is supposed to be about protecting kids or whatever, which I think they responded saying, actually, no, it's not that. We just want to take away adults' free speech or something. But still, it's called the Child Protection Act. It's supposed to be about kids, and I just find that kind of funny in a way, or maybe not that, but just the fact that the Epstein files still haven't been released, and there's this new act that's basically just taking away people's free speech. Isn't that just kind of humorous when you just take a step back and look at the big picture? But oh, speaking of the Epstein files, I think Trump, again, I'm not super knowledgeable, don't quote me on any of this. Trump requested that the FBI remove his name from the files, which means that it's already in the files. Not only is it already in the files, but it's in it a lot, apparently. Actually, no. I'm going to cite my sources on all this stuff. I want to make sure I'm thorough with my research. But look, I've had an idea for a video for a while. I've thought about making it for a few months and then never really quite got there. And that video, I guess, eventually became this one. But that old one was going to be titled Stop Making Yourself Miserable. I know people have their own problems and their own circumstances and everything like that, but still, people today. How can I explain this without sounding mean? People today don't want to take accountability for their own well being. Our culture, I feel like, seems to just glorify the most shitty things. I'm not trying to brag, but I don't own Twitter or TikTok or Instagram. I only really have YouTube, and even that I try to only use it like once a day. If you're spending all your time on Twitter or whatever, getting into just meaningless arguments with people over shit that doesn't even matter, then I feel like you can't really complain about being depressed. Do you know what I mean? I know it sounds like I'm just saying, hey, get your ass off the computer and go touch grass, but like, that is kind of that is what I'm saying. Yes, do that. You don't have to not use the internet or not use TikTok or anything like that, but these websites are programmed to keep you on them, because if you're not using them, if you're not following the algorithm, then they can't make any money off of you. And it is scientifically proven that doom scrolling kills your brain cells. It sitting there actively makes you dumber. Or think about rage bait. It's called rage bait because it baits you. Some kid, teenager at school decides to get into a fight and film himself, and everyone sees it and goes, "Oh, that's bad. Stop it. Stop doing that. You're a stupid idiot." And they're all leaving comments on it. All you're doing is giving the video more engagement. You're giving this kid what he wants, the attention. Rage baiters and clout chasers are like a parasite. They want to bite your arm and suck on you like a leech, and you kill them by ignoring them. Deprave them of their nutrients, and they'll shrivel up and die. And don't get me wrong, I like the internet. I like my comfort zone. I like to go on my phone and go on my laptop and stay in my room and stay indoors all day long. But you need to leave your comfort zone. It's necessary. You could read a book or ride a bike or go swimming, go outside, take a jog. I don't care. Just do something you don't normally do. And I know not everyone has access to parks or libraries. A lot of places like bowling alleys and malls, they're all starting to shut down and disappear because people just don't want to leave their house anymore. Well, that and because capitalism and automation and all that. The boomers complain that kids don't go outside anymore when there's no outside left to go to because of the boomers. I'm not angry at people for being upset about things, but I am, I guess, disappointed would be the best word, because I know people have so much potential and they limit themselves for no reason. Everyone is talking about the Boo Boo Dubai chocolate crumble cookies, and some people love it, some people hate it. It doesn't matter. You're talking about it, you're giving it engagement. Those words are in your mouth. You know, there was like a bill passed recently in Texas that oil companies can just pour acid, just actual straight acid, into our drinking water supply. But no, let's dedicate all our rage and all our energy at the Labubu Dubai chocolate crumble cookie, cuz that's important. And I'm not trying to sound like, I don't know, Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to say people aren't allowed to have fun or aren't allowed to talk about things. I understand why people don't want to talk about the serious stuff. I mean, I don't really want to talk about the serious stuff either. It's scary. Internet censorship is an important issue. Nobody is denying that. But what's more important is trans rights being stripped away, immigrants being sent off to fucking El Salvador, AI. I cannot stress enough how fucking awful AI is. It's ignoring all the other shit. The existence of AI on its own has accelerated like climate change. Remember climate change? Remember when people gave a shit about that? We are ignoring something very real. I want you to close your eyes right now and try to imagine being dead. I want you to think about that. Really think about that. Sooner or later, and sooner than you think, you're gonna die. And unless you're like religious or believe in reincarnation or whatever, that's not a very fun thought. There's a phrase, maybe not a saying, but like a phrase, or I guess a saying and a phrase could be the same thing. I don't really know. There's a quote that a lot of people often say, and I, in recent years, have found myself just getting angrier and angrier at this quote. And it's the sentence, "What has the world come to?" This annoys the hell out of me so goddamn much. Because the world has not come to anything. Now, I will admit, yes, certain aspects of it have changed or gotten worse, but it's mostly the people, I think, that have changed. Society has always been like this. Capitalism, exploitation, and commodification have all always existed. Jeffrey Epstein, I know I keep bringing him up, he was around in the 90s before people knew what he was doing or what his whole island was. He still existed, he was still there. You know, people are talking about how Justin Bieber was exploited by the industry. This is nothing new. Michael Jackson was exploited by the industry. Judy Garland was exploited by the industry. I guess while we're on the topic of Hollywood, I fucking hate the Oscars. It was never about appreciating art or whatever. They were made to bust unions. They were made so actors and crew members wouldn't demand a higher wage. I don't need Jimmy Kimmel's smug, stupid face to tell me what real art looks like when that's a pay-to-win game. That clout-chasing TikToker kid, I cannot stop thinking about clout-chasing TikToker kids. Why do you want to be famous? It sucks, and it's a status that does not matter. That does not make you a better person or a good person or a great person. What is greatness? Attention? Recognizability? Why do you care about any of that? Nobody likes the popular kid. Nobody likes the class clown. What are you trying to do? Like, I don't want to be famous. Being rich would be nice, but I don't want to be famous. I don't really want attention. I don't want to be some, I don't know. You don't need other people's approval. I'm not saying that like it's fine to just be a degenerate out in public or anything, but the opinions of you, your friends, your family, that's what really matters. You don't have not everyone has to like you. Celebrities are not your friend. I hate celebrity worship so much, every side of it. Both the fans are fucking creepy and weird and the celebrities are creepy and weird. P. Diddy is no more your friend than the fucking Duolingo bird. Corporations do not care about you. And really neither does the government. It's not that the world has become a worse place. It's just that people are waking up to what the world is actually like. That, you know, that's why it's called being woke, you dumb fuck. But I'm not hopeless. Really, I'm not. Like I said with people needing to realize their potential, it's not just for self-improvement. People have potential to change the world. Ever since 2025 began, if I ever felt upset about something, there was something that I would think about, and it would always kind of reassure me. Well, first, some people, you know how some people say the world is a simulation? Would that technically prove that God exists? I don't think the world is a simulation because I think that's just kind of a stupid idea. I honestly think God existing would make more sense. The world is not a simulation in the sense that it's digital, but it's a formula. Everything relates to everything else perfectly. And the way humans relate to everything else is that they don't relate. There might not be a God, but there definitely has to be an architect. Everything just makes too much sense for there to not be one. Unless that's the grand punchline, the biggest sick joke in all the universe, but I'm getting off track. The thought that I would think back to is a little hard to explain. So Elon Musk, right? He's standing there. It's inauguration day, and he's got his smug little smirk, and he says, "I throw my heart out to you," and then he does the salute, and he thinks he's so cool. He thinks he's such hot shit for doing that. Brother, you are actually pathetic. And I'm not saying that for the reasons most people say that, right? Other people are like, Trump and Elon are so insecure. That's true, but they're also the ones in power, so it doesn't really help anything. When I say Elon is pathetic for doing this, it's because he thinks he's so smart. He thinks he's being what? Counterculture by being a Nazi? But he isn't. He was never. This is what was supposed to happen from the beginning. It is kind of similar to the whole "what has the world come to" thing when people say we live in the dumbest timeline. We don't live in the dumbest timeline. This was the plan. This day one was going to happen. Every 80 years, some shit goes down and there's a crisis. There's every 80 years it's divided into like 4 areas. There's after the crisis, there's the high. After World War II ended, it was the 50s. Everyone was really liking their milkshakes and roller skates and segregation and all that. So it was the high, a time everyone was happy and well, not everyone, but most people were happy. That was the consensus. The second stage, the awakening. The one after that is the unraveling. I don't know a whole lot about these 2 stages, but it's like through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all that was when society began to change and shift. And finally, the crisis, what we're currently in now, it started in, I think, 2001, after the 9/11 attacks. That was the catalyst that began the crisis. And everything that's happened, literally everything, all these like wars, fucking the comeback of the Nazis, even fucking coronavirus. All this was supposed to happen in the crisis, right on time, right on schedule. Elon is not smart for trying to bring back Nazism. Someone was gonna bring it back eventually. History itself is using that man's anus as a fucking hole for its finger puppet to make him spew all this racist shit. I know it sounds like I'm just kind of going on a mental breakdown, and I mean, that's not entirely untrue. But the point is, this current crisis was predicted, I mean, not entirely accurately, but predicted to end around 2028. Am I the only one that sees this, right? 2028 is supposed to be when Trump's second presidency will end. And what happens after that? The high, right? So historically speaking, they're going to lose. And I can't know that to be certain. I'm not clairvoyant, but that's what the data says. Like, you hear a lot of people going, "Oh, why hasn't societal change happened yet? Why hasn't the world become a better place yet?" Well, I think, wasn't it like around 2000s, like 2010s, maybe like 2014, like society was pretty like healthy, was pretty good. I don't know. I wasn't very old when that happened, so I could remember it wrong. But the point is, the reason why societal change hasn't happened yet is because the crisis hasn't ended yet. Fucker. It's gonna end. Hopefully. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll all die. Or maybe it will. Maybe there will be another high. Except this time, it's with instead of milkshakes and roller skates, we're gonna have Fuck. I don't know where I was going with all that, but I don't want to re record that part anyway. Speaking on we are in the worst timeline, what other timelines are there? We are in the only timeline. This is the only one. So how come the world itself has basically become a parody of itself? Everything's devolved into just complete irony and nonsense and everything. Well, in the wise words of KSI in his very catchy song, this is how the story goes. It's really annoying when I hear people still be shocked that bad things happen. Someone would do something horrible, and then everyone on social media would go, "Oh, that's so horrible. Why did they do something so bad?" Because people are fucking perverts! All of them! The same people who go around saying, "I'm an empath," don't have the ability to comprehend that other people's brains exist outside their own mind. Is murder okay? No, but that's technically an opinion. At the end of the day, there is no universal rule that says murder is bad. It's an opinion. And if I have the opinion that murder is bad, I can still understand and comprehend that other people have their horrible opinion that murder is good. Fuck! I don't agree with racism or sexism or homophobia or all that, but I kinda get it. I can picture myself in the shoes of someone like that and thinking, well, if I wasn't as informed and I was scared and I believed all these lies, let's call them what they are, lies, I could see how I, in that situation, as an uninformed person, would be scared. But that doesn't mean that I agree with any of that. And that's all it is, really. Fear. People creating problems that only really make their own lives worse. Racist people hurt themselves by being racist. If the world were truly equal and everyone was treated the same, then that would just be a good thing. I don't know any other way to say it. That would be a good thing. And that's what these people should want. But I don't know. They're closed minded. They're set in their ways. They're in their echo chamber. And I'm not saying, leftist people or whatever can also be closed minded. They can be incredibly closed minded. But still, it's a situation where, like, one side is bad but pretending to be good, and the other side is evil and saying they're good without actually pretending to be good. That makes sense? Some leftists that I've seen, and not all of them, but some, have said they want to, like, just get rid of all religion, pretty much. And, like, religion is the cause of most of the wars in the world. And I understand that, but I don't agree. Religion is one of the things that I think gives the world culture. It's everywhere you go, it's there, and I feel like it's what makes humanity special, and you can't take that away. I would rather maybe religions were just more open to accepting each other and accepting atheist people. I want everyone in the world to hold hands and sing Kumbaya, as dumb as that sounds. I remember during the coronavirus lockdown, I was really lonely and depressed and horny, and, like, who wasn't? Everyone was during that period of time, and so I basically started cycling through pretty much maybe not every, but, like, a lot of different, I don't know, political ideologies, where one week I was like, we need to get rid of all women, then the next week I'm like, actually, nah, we need to get rid of all the gays. Then the next week I'm like, you know what? No, it's the white man that's the root of all evil. And I just kept flip-flopping back and forth between literally everything. And I think back to, like, 2016, when the first Trump presidency and that was when the whole anti-SJW feminist movement began. There was something that young me had thought of that, looking back, was kind of ahead of its time. Kind of like better than what most people today are saying. Where basically his thought process was, yeah, feminists are whiny and annoying, but like they're kind of right though. Like men are disgusting, gross pigs, and all the heckling frat boys making fun of them just kind of prove that. So, in other words, why can't everyone in the world take just a tub of Elmer's glue and stick it in their mouth and just glue their lips shut, so I don't have to listen to any complaining from the women or heckling from the men? I can finally have my peace and quiet. I wasn't like mad that people were mad. I was mad that the world made them mad. In my last black screen video, it was made, 6 months ago. I remember because it was made like a day after the inauguration. There was something in that video that I wanted to say but decided not to. And I think I'll say it now. Do not K yourself. Please, please stay with us. I don't want to say the actual things. I don't want this video to get buried, or it's going to get buried anyway. Screw it. Do not kill yourself. Earlier I told you, close your eyes and think about being dead. I want you to do the opposite. I want you to open your eyes and think about being alive. Because that's what you are. If you're listening to this video, then you are alive. Really sit with that. Isn't that just amazing? Like, you're here. Here, of all places. You're right here. Right now. Right now. More than ever. Your voice matters. What you do matters. Because you matter. I've never been a huge fan of nihilism because I feel like it really is, at the end of the day, counterproductive. Someone could be going around saying, why even bother? What's the point? Nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna get better. Might as well give up. And you know what? Maybe they're right. But do you really want to take that risk? At that point, why don't you just side with the oppressors? Why don't you just tape Big Brother propaganda to your chest and tell everyone, give up, submit, obey, 'cause it's easier? Imagine a kid, a smart kid, sitting in their room just stirring, angry, frustrated with everything. They're going to be the next Martin Luther King. And someone walks by and says, don't even bother. It won't matter. There's no point in any of it. It doesn't matter how right you think you are. That will not change anything. Giving up will help nobody. I know I've been very critical of the government throughout this video, and I'm still firm in my belief that the government was never fully on our side, but some of our older presidents have had some good points. What was that old quote? We do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Or even better to die standing than live on your knees. I'm not sure if that one was ever said by a president, but I guess it doesn't really matter. There is a secret that they don't want you to know. And it's that there are more of us than there are of them. Recall the No King's Day protest not too long ago. That same day, it was like the military's birthday, I think, and so there was a parade held for them, and nobody showed up to it. Whereas the protest was packed all over the country, even in my state, in my red state, there was a protest. Even pro-Trumpers, that's all they really talked about, the protest. they didn't really care about the parade because no one cared about the parade, not even them. In my home, I'm not going to say where I live because I don't want to dox myself, but it's a red state, even though it shouldn't be. There are actually more Democrats than Republicans. They just don't ever vote, and I think maybe some of them have been arrested so they can't vote now. But still, it shouldn't be a red state. It should be blue. And also recently they removed third party as an option. So now it's just Republican Democrat, no more nuance. Wonder what that's all about. And yeah, again, another thing that happened recently, June, Pride Month. The streets were flooded with rainbows. Not literally, but yeah, a lot of people showed up. It was very active. And apparently, we're going to do another Pride Month around like Christmas, maybe. So yeah, two Pride Months in a red state. And the government, it is a lot like a corporation in more ways than one. We don't serve them. They're supposed to serve us. You don't always have to buy their product. It's just like that rage baiting, clout chasing kid on TikTok. If you just ignore them, they'll starve. There's a new phenomenon. People are calling it Biden Freud, Biden Freud, whatever. And whether it be the tariffs or healthcare or old reliable good old pal Jeff Epstein, a lot of MAGAs are starting to turn on their messiah. And yeah, that's the thing. They do see Trump as like a god or like a Jesus, and it's weird. No Democrat saw Biden as a freaking messiah. I mean, some of them did here and there, but a lot of them did criticize Biden. I don't really like Biden. I don't really like any of them. You see, when you piss people off, you tend to get backlash. And they're gonna try to hide it. They're gonna try to do all they can to stop us from reacting. They want you to get distracted, to fall for the rage bait. Did you know, actually, that, like, more CEOs are, like, being killed off? Ever since the whole Luigi Mangione thing happened, more CEOs are being, like, assassinated. And not a whole lot of sources are reporting on that. Wonder why. I don't endorse assassinations, just want to get that out there. Even though the government does do that, I think they just released like an FBI file. They were like, oh yeah, we killed Ernest Hemingway. You thought he was crazy? He wasn't. We killed him. That was us. 'Cause we're assholes. I really don't know how to end this video. YouTube being censored, it's just the beginning. You know, before that, they got rid of Sesame Street, and I think Texas, like, didn't Texas ban anime or something? It's not the first, and it won't be the last. Things are only going to get worse. But I'm kind of, I don't know, thankful that things are getting so bad. Because now more people can realize what's going on. Now more people can, become woke, as they say. I don't know if this video will be seen by anyone. Maybe it just will get buried. Maybe no one's gonna see it. Maybe people are gonna see it and not care. Maybe they're gonna see it and, I don't know, be upset by the things that I said. But not, like, upset at what I'm saying, but just upset at me for saying the truth. I don't know, but I don't know. This might seem kind of random, but did anyone watch those, like, crash course educational videos in school growing up? You know that, like, one guy that was in them, the guy with, like, the glasses. I don't remember what his name was. Was it, like, Steve or something? Or is it Tom? I really don't know. He has his own YouTube channel, his own private channel. And in, I want to say 2014, I think, He did a video called "Your Arguments Are Invalid, Gay Marriage." And it was a video of him just like systematically debunking every anti-gay argument. And the comments of that video is someone, I think a woman, saying that they used to be extremely homophobic, and after seeing this video, it kind of, like, this one video was enough to change their mind. And years later, that person, that woman, is now married to another woman. And that's another thing I like to think about sometimes. Sure, if this video gets shadow banned and only one person sees it, maybe that one person is that smart, angry kid I told you about earlier. Maybe that one person needs one tiny push, and this video is that push they need to become the next Martin Luther King Jr. Maybe that's you. Maybe. So, yeah. Kindness. It's like lice. Pass it on, pay it forward. Free Palestine and fuck that orange turd in the White House. And I guess to leave things off, I hope you don't have a wonderful day. Because not every day is going to be wonderful. Bye.